I'm speaking as a how to achieve a happy life. In the context, secular way. Now, indeed, I'm very happy having this opportunity to talk to a large number of people here. And firstly, I want to thank organizer and also the governor, since the landed airport. Since then, governor, so every day he shows his face towards me. And with here, smile, and through eye, some very warm, friendly sort of attitude. So I very much appreciate. One of my great friend, one scientist, one American scientist, his name, I think, Livingston or something, now no longer with us. He told me, when we meet people with real sort of warm feeling, then I don't know the word, this is something open. So then he told me, whenever he met me, his eye becoming open. And actually, at that time, he mentioned to me only two persons. One, me, one, his own wife. So when he met his wife, his eye opened. So similar experience when he met me. So I think most probably, I think governor's eye also, I think, opened. So they have a certain sort of word. So in any way, so I'm very, very happy. So thank you very much. Now, every place, the people, local people, Australians, really showing genuine, warm feeling. So I very much appreciate it. Thank you. So I would like to mention to you, firstly, secularism means, when I use the word secularism, according to Indian traditions, because some of my friends, some Muslims, some Christians, they feel word secularism is a little bit negative towards religion. So they prefer not use that word. But then, and then also some people believe, or some people have the view, any ethics must be based on religious belief. So according to Indian tradition, like modern India's constitution itself, based on secularism, that certainly does not mean disrespect religion. India is a very generally speaking, Indian public very much religious-minded. And then those people who lead modern India, like Mahatma Gandhi and the other sort of leaders, also those people who drafted the Indian Constitution, they personally, very, very religious-minded people. So, according to the Indian sort of understanding about secularism means respect all religions, no preference, this religion, that religion. And also one quite sort of remarkable thing is, over 3,000 years, that sort of secularism also, they respect non-believers' right. So it is quite quite open sort of thinking. So when I use the word secularism, please you understand it is something very open towards everybody, all religions, deep respect, and meantime also respect or recognition of non-believers, right, like that. So now, I think, so I explain this way. As a human being, even animals or insects all have desire to have more peace, more calm, do not want any disturbances. Then everyone have every right to achieve happy life. Everyone have right to overcome any disturbances or any problems, any difficulties. That's a universal. No need investigation, no need experiment, no need logical sort of proof, right? By nature. So now, in order to achieve that goal, every sentient being, birds, or different sort of animals, or we human being, all was trying to achieve that. But then the important is method. The way to achieve that goal must be realistic. Any unrealistic approach fails to achieve our goal. We can see some animals. They try to escape their danger, but go to wrong direction. Then we feel, oh, how pity. They actually, they are trying to escape that danger, but actually facing towards that danger, like that. So similarly, we are human beings. We have this marvelous human intelligence. So we have more ability, to follow realistic approach with help of, analyze things or research things. Then, better sort of awareness, the thing. So our approach is usually, comparatively, more realistic approach. We're not only seeing temporary thing, but long term. So therefore, we have this sort of capacity. Even I think animal also, I think some extent. But we have more equipped because of the long-term sort of the awareness of long-term interest. So sometimes we willingly sacrifice immediate sort of benefit in order to achieve long-term. So these are the the indication of our approach, usually, or say the more realistic approach. So we human beings, because of this intelligence, you see, we try to, try to achieve long-term benefit rather than short-term. Now here, sensorial level of the experience, mainly temporary. For example, seeing some sort of picture or some spots, or as a tourist go different places and seeing different place and different sort of costume, different sort of, way of life, or different people. You get some sense of pleasure, but mainly through eye organs. Then music. Oh, I have one, my friend, a driver in Delhi. I often talk, and he really loves cricket. So often, when there is some cricket match, and then when I ask him how many hours you sleep the previous night or last night, he say 4 hours, because till midnight he look at cricket television. Like that. So sometimes I teasing him, this is wrong. Better to get more sound sleep rather than look cricket, you see, till late night, like that. So these are, this is some kind of sort of pleasant experience through sensory level. Then music, then food, smell, physical sort of touch, all some pleasant sort of experience through sensorial level is temporary. So long that sort of, even there, you get some satisfaction. Once they're finished, only memory, right? Only just memory, just in memory. Then other hand, some sort of deeper experience in mental level, which not depend on sensorial experiences, that remain longer. So it is important to realize or to aware that there are experiences, pleasure and pains. These experience two levels. One mainly sensorial level, one deeper mental level. I think the society, modern society, we very much sort of absorbed the sensorial level sort of the experiences. That's why we very much sort of concerned about material facilities. And too much involved about external material sort of values. Then sometimes, you see, we neglect about our deeper mental level experiences. One time, I think many years ago, one occasion I was in Berlin, the hotel where the room which I stay, just opposite the other side, I think one sort of what's the nightclub. So about 7:38, I'm about to go to sleep. Then I can see from outside the different lights, blue, red, yellow, like that. And then I hear, zheng sheng, zheng sheng, zheng sheng, zheng sheng, like that. Then about midnight, I wake up, still going on, zheng sheng, zheng sheng, zheng sheng, like that. Then next morning, about 4, I'm getting up, getting up. Oh, that's still going on, zheng sheng, zheng sheng, like that. I think, you see, I think, hold their energy absorbed on that sensorial levels of experience. I think the next day, I think they may be completely exhausted. Recently, I met one Indian sort of family. I think, not very young, youth. Their children, young
family with children.
I mean, parent and with young sort of, their sort of sons and daughters. They just is a casual talk. Then I just mentioned last 2-3 years, I no longer, looking television, only BBC, radio. So I got the information through radio, and not necessary to look television.
To
Watch television. So I mentioned that. Then, that young, the Indian the family, expressed, you must be boring, without sort of looking up. Get bored without sort of watching television. So that means they spend a lot of time watching television. So this, in a way, modern lifestyle. And then I think in America, and I think in Europe also, I think especially children, too much watching television. That is, I think, harmful to development of ability of your mind to analyze or concentrate or the sharp minds. Just look, not thinking. So therefore, it is very useful to make more work about mental level, not just relying on sensorial level. So I think another sort of point, real disturbance sort of emotions, not sensorial level, sensorial causing that, but real sort of disturbance sort of emotions mainly come from mental level. So now, in order to achieve calm or happy life, calm mind is very essential. So since real source of disturbance come from mental level, so we have to deal with mental level. Now here, firstly, pay more attention about our inner values, inner world. I think quite sufficient now. External world, we have quite good knowledge. But inner world, even you see, within this skull, the small space, we're exploring external space, but sometimes we not yet fully cover about our inner space here. So it is important, useful, to think more about our mind, about our emotion itself. The other day I mentioned, once the emotion develop, then try to watch emotion by another sort of mind. Then it automatically, the sort of this intensity of the negative emotion subside. For example, when you feel strong anger, then try to look at anger or at mind. Try. We can do that. We have that ability. Try to watch the mind which is dominated by anger. As soon as you watch that, the intensity of the anger reduces. So like that. So it's quite interesting to look inward about mind. We are in 21st century. 20th century, it seems now, I think the most important century of whole human history. So a lot of sort of development in technology field and scientific field. So our sort of knowledge about nature, I think much developed. But yet, and our living standard also is much sort of developed, much increased. However, that 20th century becomes century of bloodshed. I think you European people, you experience, your parents or grandparents, they experienced tremendous sort of destruction, fear, pains. So according to some historian, the 20th century, within 20th century, over 200 millions of people killed through violence. So immense amount of violence and use, including nuclear weapons. If that immense sort of violence really made new shape of the world, or something people call because of new order, because of the good one, then something you can justify that immense violence. But that is not the case. Even beginning of this 21st century, some unhealthy sort of situation in Iraq or Afghanistan, and also including terrorism. These are the symptom of the past mistake or past negligence, and also among the youth, some sort of unrest, sometimes killing. These things also, you see, symptom of the past mistake. That means, or negligence or some mistakes. Main reason, with too much emphasis about external things. So, therefore, now we have to think, see, more broader way, including inner values, not only external or material values, but internal values. And then I think here, the gap, rich and poor, the material development itself good, but it sometimes, you see, increase the gap, rich and poor. I think Austria, better, less gap. Many other countries. Now, last year I visited Mexico, Argentina, and then Brazil. So each places, when I give talk, I ask audience how much the gap rich and poor, small or big. The audience everywhere response big. I think Austria better, isn't it? I think you may show small, I think. Gap rich and poor. This or small? Okay, now that's better. Then also the scale of corruptions. These countries, America also. So when I ask small or big, the audience. Always say that. So, here in Austria, corruption. Democratic country, rule of law, free information, free press. Still, these things will happen. Why? Due to lack of self-discipline, due to lack of the principle, moral principle. I often, you see, telling my Indian friends in India, Indian people, generally, comparatively, I think, very, very religious-minded nation, people, very religious-minded. But a lot of corruptions there. So I usually keep telling my Indian friends, each family, or even these corrupted sort of family, in their home, some statue of God and goddesses. Every morning they offer some flowers, some incense, and some prayer. So I'm teasing them, oh, your prayer to God and goddesses, almost like, oh, my corruption should be succeed. So, one way, religious-minded, but don't care about these corruptions. Very sad. So, these people actually suppose they are believer, but not serious enough to carry some principle. Or another word, God-fearing. Right. A few years ago, you see, I some discussion one, scholar or expert, right? Scholar about the multinational corporations or advisor, expert. And we discuss about the corruptions, even these multi-company. You see, their profit is not very transparent, not very clear. So we discuss these things. Then I asked him, oh, these people must be some kind of God-fearing. So maybe some sort of discipline, out of sort of fear of God. And then he answered to me, that's 18th century talk. So people, those people go to church and pray to God, but they are not very serious or sincere. If sincere and serious, then whole their life should carry according to God's sort of guide, right? Love, contentment, self-discipline. So now really judging these things, gap rich and poor, and also you see carelessly about environment, just to consume everything. Right? So these are the clear indication. We need more effort to promote moral ethics. With moral ethics, self-discipline comes. Self-discipline means not from order, not from fear, but voluntarily. Oh, I should not do this. Although you found the opportunity, doing something wrong, doing some injustice. But knowing if I indulge these things, this kind of act, that's against the moral principle. So self-discipline. So therefore, we really need more effort to build moral ethics. Otherwise, this present sort of situation go continuously, the population increasing, the natural resources also, you see, reducing, and then more sort of problems may happen. Therefore, now time comes in order to build this century, happy century, peaceful century. We must try to make compassionate century. That is the basis of moral principle. Now you should. Now the moral ethics very much related with warm-heartedness. Warm-heartedness means sense of concern of others' well-being. Consider other also just like me. Truly human brothers, sisters. They also want happiness, do not want suffering. We are social animal. Each individual's sort of happy life depends on the rest of the community. So the rest of the community or others is ultimate source of your own happy life. So taking care of their right, once that kind of sort of thinking there's no room exploitation, bully, cheating, lie, because you respect them, you develop, you take voluntarily sense of concern of their well-being. So ultimately warm-heartedness, sense of concern of others' well-being is the key thing. This we already equipped from childhood. As soon as we were born, we received maximum affection from our mother. This biological factor, the affection already there because we survived by human affection, mainly mother's affection with mother's milk. So that experience is really deeply absorbed in our body, in our sort of say, genes or blood. So everybody have that sort of seed already there. Now question is, nowadays you see young children, I think they more concerned about others' affection rather than their money or their power, their social background. They don't care what's their social background. And eventually we grown up and become like our governor, more white hair, gray hair, and more wisdom. I myself also, you see, getting older, then unless we pay special attention, otherwise these basic biological factors or values then dormant. Intelligence sometimes brings some other artificial things. Now then we calculate, if I have them, what I get. If nothing to gain, forget. And then the self-centered attitude, me, more important than others, almost like support that big me. So that's the source of corruption. That's the source of problem. So the Institute of I consider your own community as we, part of we. Then further goes whole Europe, European Union, that spirit also, you see, the big Europe, big we. So further goes whole world, 7 billion human beings are part of we. Then no room, war. No room, they deliberately create, the rich and poor. Respect all, same human being, same brothers, sisters. We should have equal right. We should have equal share. So in economic field, in religious field, in every field, if we develop that kind of sense of concern of others' well-being, that's the key factor. This not necessarily considered as a part of religion. No. Religion is individual business, private business. But these things are concern of humanity. We're born through that way. You see, the rest of our life should be with that kind of strong feeling. Then self-discipline comes. Respect others. No cheating, no exploiting, like that. And then further goes for physical health, also very important, this warm-heartedness. Because the scientists some scientists say, constant fear and anger, hatred, actually eating our immune system. So fear comes, extreme self-centered attitude, just me. Then look this side, little fear. That kind of mental attitude makes you yourself distance from other. As a result, this side fear, this side distrust. Result, lonely. Sense of insecurity. That brings fear. Fear translates frustrations, anger. So once the open heart, or say the sense of concern of others' well-being, taking care of others, then more self-confidence. Then you can act honest, truthful, openly, transparently. That reduces fear. Look this side, human brothers, sisters. Look this side, human brothers, sisters. Occasionally, if you, in spite you showing friendly attitude, the others not that way, some negative, then you have right to act according to that circumstances, isn't it? But firstly, we must extend or reach out. Then most cases, even animal, if you open warm-heartedness, sense of concern to them, they also respond. We human beings, certainly. Yeah. But some in the past, some occasion, I think in Germany, when I passing through street in my car, I always just smile to anybody, to everybody, smile. So one day, one young lady passed through. So I, as usual, smile. Then that young lady seems to get some suspicion. So my smile, instead of pleasant experience, my smile causing fear or suspicion. Then I can turn that way. So therefore, I really believe warm-heartedness, affectionate heart, which we learned from our mother. So this must keep till our death. So you physically also you gain more because of that benefit. Your physical become stronger, healthier. So recent our scientific meeting, seminar, we have that slogan, healthy mind, healthy body. Healthy mind very much related with healthy body. Clear. Then at the beginning, I mentioned realistic. In order to carry realistic approach, we must know the reality fully. In order to know the reality fully, our mind must be calm. If our mind too much sort of involve emotions, then our mind become biased. Through that way, you can't see the things objectively. So therefore, in order to carry investigation objectively, our mind should be calm, should be neutral. So here also, warm-heartedness have important role. So therefore, in education field also, I think student constant fear and uncomfortable way, I think that's one hindrance of learning. Fresh, enthusiasm, happy, then you can learn better. So I think every level of human life, and experts, professions, so your mind more open, calm, you can carry your professional works, including politicians or everything. You see, then really the successful very much depend on realistic approach. Realistic approach, again, finally related with our mental level, calm mind. That, again, related with self-confidence, open heart. So that's the secular ethics. So irrespective whether believer or non-believer, think more these lines. So, thank you. So that is suppose the act of happiness.
Art of happiness.
Art of happiness. Myself, yes, quite useful. And if you feel some sense there, if you feel some sense, then try to practice that. If you feel not much sense, then forget.